Today, we are going to describe this process to you in yet another way. We want to say to you that when you ask, you send rockets of desire into your vibrational experience. And we've been calling this your vibrational escrow, because it's where all that you want is held in an account that's just for you, that no one else is going to sweep in. Bernie Madoff does not have access to this account. And then we began calling it a vibrational reality. It's a vibrational reality because you're so excited about this physical reality. We want you to be excited about this vibrational reality. And today we are calling this vortex, a vortex of creation. It is a vortex, and the reason that we are calling it a vortex is because as law of attraction responds to this powerful point that the source within you is holding on your behalf, this much larger than you part of you, this much larger than the physical part of you, non-physical part of you, stands there holding this pure thought of what you've been asking for, and with the absence of resistance to this, and law of attraction's response to that, there is a powerful vortex that is created, a vortex of attraction. And this is the most important thing for you to hear about this, where all cooperative components are being assembled. The question is, are you a cooperative component? And the answer is, if you're mostly joyful, mostly happy, mostly eager, mostly frisky, then yes, you could count yourself as a cooperative component. And if all of that is true, then you're saying to us, things work out for me. Ideas come just at the right time. I flow in and out of all things. I rendezvous with like-minded people. Wonderful things happen. I barely think about something that I want, and the path to achieve it is unfolding for me. I feel good all of the time. I wake up, I hit the floor with a feeling of enthusiasm for life. I feel reborn anew every day of my life experience. If that's the way you are describing yourself, then you are often, most often, in the vortex. But if you're ornery, if you're confused, if you feel resentment, then you're not in the vortex, not consistently. And if you're like most people, you're in and out, in and out. If you're like most people, you're out, and out and out, and out and out and in, and out, and out and out, and out and out, and damn mad about being out and in, and out, and out, and out, and joining an online chat group about how crummy it is to be out, and out, and out, and out, and out, and in, and out. If you're like most people, you're out mostly, on the brink of it sometimes, and in rarely, but you've been in enough to taste the sweetness of alignment, enough so that when you're not in there experiencing the fullness of all that is meant to be for you, you resent it. You know something is really, 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 really wrong. And that's why when you don't feel good, you want to blame this one and that one and this one and that one and this one and that one. Usually the person you live with is the person that gets the brunt of your blame about you not being in the vortex, but we want to lovingly give it all back to you. You get the credit, 100% of the credit, about whether you're in the vortex or whether you're not in the vortex. We just want to do the best sales job ever about wanting to inspire your desire to be in the vortex. Words don't teach. It's only life experience that teaches. So we can stand here all day long, and we do, and talk about our view of what you all are living, and words really do not mean diddly squat. It isn't until you take some of the words that you're hearing and feel the resonance of them and apply them to the specifics of what you're living that you give yourself the knowing. We have so enjoyed watching Esther moving through her days, almost sifting through the sands of life, looking for a problem that she can focus will on tomorrow. She carries her notebook, and as soon as something happens, she'll say to Jerry, oh good, focus wheel stuff. And she writes it in her book of positive aspects, an odd place for it to be. But she writes it in her book of positive aspects, and the next morning when she sits to do her 30 minutes of focus wheeling, she says, oh good, here's a good one. Here's something that came up recently that when it came up, I could feel I wasn't in alignment. Let's see if I can focus wheel this into alignment. And then sitting there and focus wheeling it into alignment so that by the time she finishes the one wheel and maybe a spin-off or two, and then moves into a book of positive aspects and a rampage of appreciation, she is feeling an exhilaration way bigger than she would have been feeling if that incident had not shown itself to her and she had not done that work. So she is beginning to feel invincible. She's beginning to feel that there isn't anything that she cannot work. Hear these carefully chosen words. There isn't anything that she cannot work the bugs in her out about. Not the bugs in the government, not the bugs in the economy, not the bugs in the other. It's not the bugs in the whatever. It's the bugs in her vibrational craw. It's those sticking points. She can work them out. We just want you to know that when you accept the wholeness of who you are, that's the most important premise. I am source energy, and it is natural that I feel good. And when I don't, something's off. And it's up to me to make it on. And you just keep doing that work. Then before you know it, everything that you ask for will just feel like knowing. In other words, you'll just expect to get that parking place. You'll just expect traffic to flow. You'll just expect a very capable person to be the one who comes to serve you. You'll expect your phone call to be well received. You'll expect to get the results that you have been thinking about. You'll expect to make the right decision at the right time. You'll expect your impulses to be right on target. You'll expect others to expect good things from you. You'll expect things to go well. Expectation, that's maybe the best word that any of you could utter, because expectation includes what I want and what I believe and rolls it all into this deliberate creation. Well, if those premises all make sense to you, then buckle your seatbelts and get ready for an in the vortex experience, because it's who you are, and it's where you belong, and it's not a difficult thing to get in. And after you get in on a pretty consistent basis, you will never again feel uncomfortable about the vortex spitting you out, because you know how to get right back in. In other words, you'll just regroup and go back in and massage the thought into a way that feels better. And we'll offer you some processes that make that easy. So, what do you want to talk about? Some things. It'll be a wonderful unfolding. So just relax and accept that you'll hear what you've come to hear, provided you're in the vortex. Get ready. Someone inside the vortex cannot communicate with someone not in the vortex. You've been trying that, haven't you? Have you ever noticed that you're on such different wavelengths that there's no possible way? Have you ever been living something and known it fully and tried to explain it to somebody who doesn't get it? And have you noticed that it doesn't matter how many years you spend trying to get them to get it? They never get it. It's like speaking different languages, you say. There's the in the vortex language and there's the out of the vortex language. In the vortex language sounds like life's good in this way and this way and this way. Outside the vortex language sounds like life sucks in this way and this way and this way. So over time, we've offered many different analogies, but our favorite one so far is this. So you are source energy, and a part of you comes forth into the physical, while the larger, far and away, the larger part of you remains eternally and non-physically focused, as source always does. Source, get it? Source. Some say, Abraham, why doesn't source come forth and be physical if source thinks we should like physical so much? And we say that's like asking the electricity in your wall to come forth and be the toaster. Sometimes the toaster is happy that there's electricity coming through the wall, you see. And so it's the same thing. Source is source, and you are an extension of source out here on the leading edge. So here you are out here on the leading edge as extension of source, exposing yourself to new ideas and launching constant new rockets of desire, which the source within you embraces and becomes the vibrational equivalent of immediately. And when that happens, there is a vibrational disparity between you in the physical and you in the non-physical. In other words, the non-physical you not only believes that this can be, but knows it. Not only believes and knows that it can be, but already is it. Already is it. It's already done, vibrationally speaking. When you ask, it's done. There's just one little thing you have to do as you're physically focused, and that is you have to become a vibrational match to what you're asking for. So over here, where who you really are is, and where the culmination of all of your rockets of desire are, and where the source within you in its expanded version because of you is, we're calling this the vortex of creation. It's the vortex. It's a vibrational reality. We talked earlier about how when you look at something that's already manifested in your reality, you say, well, I can believe that because I can see that. I believed my chair would hold me, and I believe the sun will come up in the morning because I've seen it enough that I believe it. There's a lot of things that I believe because I'm witnessing the manifestation of them. And we say, if you will decide today that you're not going to need to witness the manifestation of something before you believe it, you will become the creator who can create anything that you desire. And we want you to understand that it's easy to do because over here in your vibrational reality, by the way, this is the reality that precedes all manifested reality. So don't feel bad. Sometimes our physical friends think, oh, well, yeah, vibrational reality. I'm rich there. I'm skinny too. But what we want you to understand is the vibrational reality always precedes the reality. And if you have knowledge of the existence of this vibrational reality, if you know about this vortex, do you know what happens over here in this vortex of creation? Law of attraction is responding to the desire and causing a culmination, assembling all cooperative components. So everything that is necessary for the achievement of anything that you want has already been assembled. The question that we want to ask you is, are you a cooperative component? Or are you over here keeping alive a belief of doubt that contradicts what you're asking for? And the answer to the question, if you are feeling negative emotion, then you're keeping alive a vibration that contradicts it. Because if you're even hoping you're over here on the edge and the vortex is taking you in. In other words, this is a powerful vortex of attraction. And it will bring everything that matches it. But if you're over there beating the drum of why you want it, in other words, I want it because it's miserable not having it. I want it because I don't have it and I don't like not having it. As you beat that drum, you keep alive in yourself, active in your vibration, a frequency that prevents you from being brought in. So when we say to you, are you enjoying the contrast of your time and place? If you are over here, if you have practiced yourself into vibrational alignment, if in the moment we ask the question, you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, in perfect vibrational alignment with who you are, when we say, are you enjoying the contrast of your time and place? You say, yes, indeed. Because the contrast of my time and place has caused me to expand way over here with all kinds of wonderful things. And now I've learned to tune myself predominantly into vibrational alignment with those things. I'm living a spectacular life in terms of manifestation. But even more important, I feel great because there's no separation between me and me. But if we ask the question, are you enjoying the contrast of your time and place? And you're standing way over here, launching rockets like crazy, but not lining up with them. I know what I don't want. 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 Abraham, you've got to be crazy. Are you kidding? Why would I enjoy this contrast? This contrast sucks. Why would I enjoy being over here in a body that doesn't feel good or in an experience that doesn't feel good? Why would you ask such a question? And we say, we ask the question because we know the benefit of your contrast and your asking. And we know also that the most exhilarating moments of your life experience are those moments between having launched a rocket and not being up to speed with it, but turning and going. That's where exhilaration is. That's where enthusiasm is. That's where passion is. And what we're wanting you to understand is that, yes, of course, you know what you don't want, but you also know what you do want. And the art of allowing, which is what we call these seminars, is about utilizing your emotional guidance system in order to recognize which end of the wave you're on every subject in the world. In other words, you in the living of life and in the sorting through the contrast, you have launched a myriad of never-ending desires. And those desires are being held in a vibrational escrow by the larger part of you, who remains always on the knowing what I do want end of the vibrational stick. So